Don't let society tell you how to feel about the fact that your brain has an inbuilt protection mechanism that has provided you with someone who may be integral to your survival and your system. Hello everybody, this is Chloe and welcome back to another video by DissociaDID. This is going to be the fourth installment in our series all about alters, and I may be using some definitions that you might not have heard before if you haven't watched the other videos in our series. So I'm going to try and keep this as beginner friendly and easily accessible as possible for as many people as possible. But if you do find yourself getting a bit confused or would like to watch the series from the beginning, then you can find the links to those videos up here. So this video is going to be about fictives. What I want to start off by saying is that fictives are a type of introject. So an introject alter is an alter that is based off an experience of a person or an individual that the person with the ID had of somebody in the external world. So this could be an abuser, it could be somebody they had a very close connection to, it could be a very, very close friend that they felt very safe with or very supported by. It could be somebody they admired, and that can become an alter. With fictives, it's the same kind of basic principles, but it happens with a fictional character. This character could be from a film, a book, a comic, even a song, absolutely anything. But they are based off of this fictional character. While going through the trauma that caused this character to become an alter and to split, the mind may be thinking of maybe a character who's very, very strong, or a character they feel a very, very strong connection to, and think, oh, if only I was in this fantasy world and none of this was real. Or if only this character was real and here with me right now and this wouldn't be happening. Or if only I was as smart as them or I'd had their experiences, this wouldn't be happening and I wouldn't be feeling this and I would be safe. Those are some examples of why fictives can come about. Life can be very, very difficult for fictives, especially if they're newly split, so just being formed. A fictive may not be everything you expect them to be. This alter was created by your mind to deal with your specific trauma. The timeline that they are from in their story, whatever that may be, will have diverged from what you know as soon as that split happened. They are now their own individual person and they're having new experiences. And that means that you may not be able to predict them in the way that you might assume you could because that's your favourite character or a character that you know. This alter is a real person, just like any of your other alters or like any person without DID who isn't an alter. All of us are deserving of love and patience and acceptance. And I know that some people can find having a fictive alter embarrassing or frightening or just too weird to handle. But the principles that create a fictive alter are exactly the same as the principles that create any alter. And when it comes to DID, it's a defense mechanism inbuilt by the brain to protect you and to keep you as safe as possible. There is nothing different about having a fictive alter that should make you treat them in a way that's any less accepting or kind and understanding than any alter that you may have. Something that can be very, very difficult for fictive alters is that they may have experienced what you know as their backstory as real memories. They will feel those connections to those other characters from their fictive world. They will have lived those memories as if they were real. They will have those emotions, and they are real. And what I like to say to alters who I know are fictives, who I'm close with or know, is that it's absolutely okay to grieve that loss. You have been pulled out of a world that was everything that you ever knew and forced into this one, which may be completely different. Fictives who haven't had phones in the world that they came from will not know what a phone is, most likely. So you may have to approach having a fictive in the same way you would having a child alter who doesn't know about these things. But then again, like with some child alters know instinctively how to use a phone, or how to run, or how to act like the host. It really does vary from individual to individual as to how your brain created this alter and what your specific needs were and what your specific situation is. But for any fictive alters, yes, it's shocking, and it can definitely throw you into an existential crisis. Everything you thought you knew has suddenly been shown to you as something that everyone in this world says isn't real. But those memories are real to you, and that means that for all intents and purposes, to me, and to anyone who should be interacting with you, they're real. Because your feelings are real. Your emotions are real, your memories and your connections to the people that you can no longer see or talk to because supposedly they never truly existed and you'll never be able to see them again. That is heartbreaking. And then having to deal with everything that comes with being a system on top of that in a world that you've never known. I can't even imagine how difficult that must be. And anyone who's a fictive, who's just come into this world, who's struggling, I just want to say how incredibly strong that makes you. And that things do get easier. And everything will seem alien and confusing at first, most likely. But it's not always going to be like that. And it does get easier. And some fictives will come into the world and be completely aware that they're a fictive and it doesn't bother them, and completely aware of how this world works and how to live their life, and they just kind of go about their day as an alter who knows. Other fictives will really, really struggle, and that is just down to your own individual experiences. So, to anybody who has a fictive alter who finds it embarrassing or startling or uncomfortable for them, you should know that the reason they were created was just the same as any alter is created with DID, to keep you safe and to protect you. This wouldn't have happened if your mind didn't think that you needed it. Don't let society tell you how to feel about the fact that your brain has an inbuilt protection mechanism that has provided you with someone who may be integral to your survival and your system. And it may not seem like that at first, and it may seem very confusing, and I know a lot of people freak out at the idea of, oh god, this new alter is a fictive, oh god. But think about why you feel like that. This alter was created in the same way any other alter was created. And you may feel like you know them, or that you can predict them because you're familiar with the fictional character. Their timeline may have divulged from what you know their story to be, from before the split. You probably don't know this person, and they definitely don't know you if they're new. Approach them like you're meeting a new person for the first time, because that is who they are. Don't assume you know everything about how they feel, or everything about their past, because in all likelihood you probably don't. So please don't treat fictives any differently than you would any other alter or any other person. We're all deserving of kindness and love and acceptance and patience. Just please be gentle. Everybody deserves a chance to be accepted and loved. So yes, that's what fictives are. That's how they come about and how they differ from other alters. So just be aware if you're in a system and have just found a new fictive alter, or just had a split of a new fictive alter, just be aware that this is going to be probably even more difficult for them than it is for you, and be there for them. Work on communication right away if you can. Just be kind. And no, it probably won't be easy. Having a new alter never is easy. Having alters in general is never easy, but that doesn't mean that you can't live a very successful life with dissociative identity disorder, because you can. And it may be easier for some than others. And it may not feel like you'll ever be able to get there. But there's hope, and I believe that you can. And there are people out here who understand what you're going through, and there are people who can help. And even if they can't help right now, they can listen. You are not alone. And for any fictives who might be watching this, you're not alone either. There are other people who will miss individuals from worlds that never really existed. There are people who will understand what you're going through and don't think that you're strange. You're not alone. You are not the only one out here. Quick rundown of Factives. Factives are essentially the same as Fictives, but instead of being based on a fictional person, they're based on a historical person who actually lived. Other than that, same principles, should be treated in the same way. But that was episode 4 of our All About Alters series, and if you do want to watch the rest of the series, please do go ahead. We've got a whole playlist dedicated to it. And if you're enjoying learning about the scientific aspects of dissociative identity disorder and want to look at some studies and find some real deep proof, then we have a playlist called Debunking DID, where we debunk all the stigmas and inaccurate information that come with dissociative identity disorder. And you can find that playlist up here. So, I really hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that if you like and subscribe, you might come back for more. And thank you so much to everybody who supports us and our patrons who allow us to do what we do. Your support is honestly invaluable to us and has raised our quality of life so much. So thank you everybody, and I hope that this was educational and supportive, and I can't wait to see you all in the next video. Lots of love everybody. Bye!